we're going to take a look at a new board game, Gunfight Royale. Today we're going to look at the contents of the new board game, Gunfight Royale, made by Knuckleduster Miniatures. Really fantastically put together this game is. I cannot tell you how excited I am for this. It is a family-friendly board game that you can just throw out on the table, have a good time with, and then pick it up real easy when you're finished. Of course, it is definitely family-friendly and board gamer friendly. Real easy to pick up. A lot of the rules are in the cards, and you just read the cards specifically. The cards tell you exactly what you need to do, but we will get into that some other time. This is the components here. So what we got is a really nice glossy board. It's a 4-part board, very heavy cardstock, and it has some buildings in it, which is really neat. You got a saloon, a general store, a bank, an outhouse over here, and various numbers on them, and question marks for item tokens, I'm guessing, on the board and things like that. I'm not guessing, I know. And you have a stable over here. This right here is a livery stable, and of course a corral. So you got a good variation and a good amount of a barbershop of buildings around here that, you know, can block line of sight and things like that, and you can go inside, kind of like your Western games you play on the tabletop or some sort of, you know, video game as well. There's places to hide. There's an awesome amount of terrain on this board, or printed on this board. So that's what you get. That's the board. Of course, you get the rule book. You will also get 6 character cards or dashboards, and these dashboards are really neat, because you're going to put your health chips, stun chips go here, your left hand, right hand, what's in there, your inventory of what you got left over, and these right here will represent whether or not during the course of the game, if you take a damage and your right hand is disabled, you'll put a token on there saying, oh, my hand is disabled, or my left hand is disabled, or you can't walk straight no more. So you got these character sheets, and you put them down, and you know who character, you pick your character, and we'll look at that. You also get these neat figures to go along with it. Now these figures, there's 12 of them, 12 different characters that you can use, plus 12 different Gunfight Royale character cards, 2-sided. You choose your character, who you want to play, gives you a little special abilities and what they can do. Last seen carrying a gun, a coach gun. He's the old timer, the Pinkerton agent, the gambler, the lady, the loose cannon, the cowboy, the villain, the hero, the pistolier, the sneak, the tomboy, and the outlaw. Okay, you get 12 characters. They're all represented by these metal minis back here. These metal minis is not what you're going to get in the Kickstarter, or these are basically going to be full plastic models. They just represent these right now in metal will be eventually, I'm assuming, a upgrade for the board game. You also get a 13th miniature, and he'll be plastic as well. This is the Lone Rider of Eternity, which is a metal model here, and I'm assuming this will also be available for an add-on later on in the Kickstarter. So that's our character cards, that's our characters. We'll take a look at what they look like here. So I'll show you a couple of these. Really nicely done in the plastic or metal. They're really nice looking miniatures. They got the cartoon head, which is awesome. I really like the aesthetic of this game. That looks like the old timer. But their picture that you see on the card here will match the miniature fairly well. So let's find this fella right here. This is the loose cannon, I believe. Yep. So the loose cannon, Wanted for $2,700 reward. And I'll show you the miniature. Very nicely done. So that way you can find it on the table, you can find the miniature. It matches the head on the card, the character card. In this Kickstarter, you'll also get 36 white health chips, 18 red health chips, and you'll get 25 item tokens, 12 hand disabled tokens, and 6 can't run tokens. So we'll run through those right quick. So your white, these are clay, these are the clay ones. These will be added into the Kickstarter later on as an add-on if you want better tokens. Of course, as the Kickstarter gains in popularity, or the better and better it does, the more add-ons and unlocks you will have. You can have the option for clay chips, but in the original production, they will not be the clay chips. These blue ones here, you will get 6 stun chips. I don't know what I did with them, so I'm using these as a substitute, but you will get 6 blue chips. These are the stun chips. So you'll put that over your character rig or your character card or dashboard at the start of the game, and when you get stunned, you set it aside to let everybody know that your character is stunned. Also, like I mentioned, you get tokens, and these tokens are metal. They will be punch out card stock rather than metal in the Kickstarter, but I'm sure when the Kickstarter carries along as an add-on, they'll be available in metal. But these here, these are the item tokens. You get 25 of those. You'll set them out on the question marks, and when you come across one, you'll take it off and choose an item. This right here is a can't run token. Can't run tokens. They have a little boot on the character rig. The same thing. You put the boot over it, the token there, and that means you cannot run. So this token here, this one here is the hand disabled token. So if your hand is disabled, you can't use a gun in that hand. And that'll also go on your character rig if something happens to your right or your left hand based on one of your wound cards that you take when you take a wound. So in addition to all that, you get 3 dry erase markers to mark on your cards. You will get 4 6-sided D3s, meaning they have 2 1s, 2 2s, and 2 3s. You'll get 2 D20s and 1 D10. That's the dice for the game. And then, in addition to that, you will receive 6 of these quick reference cards to tell you what actions you can do and help you out with your accuracy, brawling, and malfunction. So these are kind of, give one to each character, and they can use this as a quick reference rather than having to constantly look up in a rule book. So that's all that stuff there. Now we're going to get to the cards. So we have starting weapons. The starting weapons cards, they're really nice. The cards are really done very well. They're glossy, so you can mark on them with a dry erase marker, because you do have to keep track of your ammo. So these are starting weapons. This is weapons you will start with. You'll find more in the weapons and items, but they have everything you need on the card itself. There's no additional like rules or anything. Everything is right here. It tells you your range and the accuracy of the weapon. Pistol, it's one-handed and it's non-concealable. So this is a weapon you would not be able to conceal on your body. This is a Colt Peacemaker. We got a lasso, because we do have a character with a lasso. It gives you -5 accuracy when you're thrown, and it has special rules. Everything is on the card that you need. There's no looking up. This is a Colt, this is Sharp's rifle, a Remington conversion, a Remington cap and ball, the pepper box, which is pretty cool. Damage varies with range. So everything you need for the weapons is on this card, and to keep track of how much ammo you have dry erase markers, and you can mark on these cards, and it will come right off, which is pretty cool. So next we're going to look at the weapons and items. So this is a big chunky deck. It's 34 cards. These are things that can be found with the item tokens. And they're also this high gloss, very well done card, and they can be used to dry erase on to mark off your bullets. So these have the upgraded weapons. There's two-handed, so you need two-handeds for some of these weapons. Some have more capacity than others. You have a boilerplate. I think we all know where that's from. You also have something snake oil. You have a dress where somebody can put it on and conceal themselves as a lady. A bandana, it's concealable. We got a lucky rabbit's foot, a 10-gallon hat, a frying pan, a wood axe, a hatchet, brass knuckles, Yankee Gold, I'm sorry, whiskey bottle, dynamite, the list goes on. And everything you need for these cards is on the cards. It's just read the cards. It tells you exactly what it does on the card. In the green box is usually the special rules for items and the range and stuff like that for all the weapons. So that is the weapons and items. Now the Dirty Tricks deck. Now, one unique thing about the Dirty Tricks deck is they're dirty tricks. And even if your character is dead, even if your character's gone, you're out of the game, you can still play these cards. So you still have the ability to play these in the game, even if you're not on the board anymore. And I don't know if you noticed what's on the bottom. You can pretty much figure that one out. This one here is an unrelated gunshot. You play at any time and a gunshot rings out across town. Each character rolls a d3 and hits the dirt on a roll of a 1 or 2. So these can, like I said, these can be played at any time. Accidental discharge, stroke of luck, raw deal, bystander calls out a warning. These can be played at any time, and they literally are dirty tricks. So next is the wound deck, the infamous wound deck. Now, it is called the wounds deck, but it's the black and blue wounds deck. What's cool about this is it has on the card, the black area is for shooting attacks, and the blue area is for brawls and thrown weapons. So the black half is for shooting attacks, and the blue is for thrown weapons. So hence the phrase black and blue. Beat you till you're black and blue, blah, blah, blah. So a shooting attack, this one would hit someone in the left calf. It would do 1d3 damage. So we would take our d3 die, and that does 1 damage. And what happens? So the effect of it, and it's on the card. So you fall prone, which means the miniature goes prone. Now, if this were a brawling attack, as you can see, there's a bottle, there's a punch. It's a gut punch, does nothing damage, but you are stunned. That's where we take our chip away. So just to give you another example, we have the haymaker, which is a punch, does 1 damage, and you fall prone and back 1d3 spaces. So this is a grid board, so each one of these is a 1 inch, and you move back 3 inches with that one. Or you get shot in the left foot, which is a 1d3 of damage, and you can't run anymore. And that's where our token with the boot comes into play. You can't run anymore. So these are filled. It's a huge deck. There's a lot of cards in the wound deck. And then we have Wildlife in the Far West. These right here are the gunfight cards used in the game. And these will determine, at the beginning, you can either choose one of these, or you can randomly choose one of these based on how many players you have. So this one is teams. So team 1, the bounty hunters, start with in the corral, and team 2, the fugitives, start in any wood-floored space. So any wood-floored space, but they have to start in the corral, team 1. But upon eliminating all the fugitives, the bounty hunters get an extra $3,000. If the bounty hunters are wiped out, they may not collect any bounties for fugitives they killed. So this right here, you can either play team games or free-for-alls. So teams or everybody against everybody. So these basically are your scenarios for the game. So each one of these miniatures has a unique octagonal base, which I said that right, on them that has a little arrow, and that's his forward facing. So if he is in the corner, all sides are still touching, but he is facing that direction on the board. So if he's facing this way, that's the way he's facing. And if you run 2d3 spaces, you face the direction of the movement. So he would move 1, 2, 3 to here and still be facing that direction of the arrow on the octagonal base. So that's it. That's the components to Gunfight Royale. I hope you enjoyed this video. I really appreciate it. We will be back to play some games of Gunfight Royale. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I will answer any of those as part of the components of this game. And I guess we'll join you for the next one. Last but not least, from me to you, ta-ta, and take care.